We let the people file back in here, man. But yeah, you know, a lot of people be on that, man. Like I said, I always held that point of view because that's why, you know, they said that about Malcolm X, man. I told you that before, man. You know, the FBI was following them boys around, man, and they were like with Malcolm. It's back on Quran, man. They say with Malcolm, they say compared to Martin Luther King, Malcolm was a choir boy. They say he wasn't doing nothing. They didn't have anything illicit or debaucherous to put on him. But, you know, Martin was out here hoeing it up. You know, they got mad about that because they put that in the movie that Mary J. Blige was in about him when she played Coretta. You know what I'm saying? Because if people had it, oh, he dead. No, it's going to distort his legacy. No, that's part of his legacy. If that's behavior that he engaged in, that's part of his legacy. You can't sweep that out the way because you don't like the way they made him look. Because clearly he didn't care. Because he was doing it. They say that hotel he was at was a known drinking hotel where he died at. Now, whether that's true or not, we'd have to talk to somebody from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't from Memphis, so I don't know. Where you at with it, bro?
Isaiah 48.
48 and 16.
So come you near unto me, hear you this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning, from the time that it was, there am I, and now Yahuwah Elohim and his Ruach have sent me. Thus saith Yahuwah, your Redeemer, the Dashwan of Yasharal. I am Yahuwah your Elohim, which teach you the prophet, which leads you by the way that you should go.
He leads you what?
By the way that you should go. Oh, that you would.
That's good. Kick that grape over here. With his hand. Hold on. You got no phone lock in your bag? Nope. I didn't have a house. You need lock. Oh yeah, I was right the first time. Yeah. The house. Isaiah 30 and 19. One of your friends. Isaiah 30 and 19. Outstanding.
It said, for the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem, you shall weep no more. He'll be very gracious unto you at the voice of your cry, and when he shall hear it, he will answer you. And though Yahuwah give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not your teachers be removed into a corner anymore. But your eyes shall see your teachers, and your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk you in it. When you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. You shall defile also the covering of your graven images of silver, the ornament of your molten images of gold. You shall cast them away as a minstrel's cloth.
Now, notice how he said he wouldn't hide it. We just references because this is their job. Now, go back to Hebrews 13. You can pick it up at verse 5. After that, we'll go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 7. Matter of fact, make it 5. So we're in Hebrews 13 and 5, and then we'll go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 5.
And let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as you have, for he hath said, I will never leave you nor forsake you.
That's a fact. Go ahead.
So that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. Remember them which have the rule over you.
Remember them that have the what?
The rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Elohim, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
Notice what he said to follow, their faith. Knowing, he said, read it again.
Say, remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Elohim, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
Considering the end of their conduct. Tell them what the definition of end is there. Let's see if it's purpose or conclusion of the master. Or the aim. You know what I'm saying?
That's ekbasis, that's meaning to go out and exit, literally or figuratively, an end way to escape, an egress, a way out, an exit. Applied figuratively to the way of escape from temptation, the issue referring to the end of one's life.
Now notice it says the end of their faith, but then also it says a way out of temptation. So this is an individual who has the self-discipline and control, because you know what James told you. Blessed are those that do what? See, we live in a world now where everybody feel like They got a whole multitude of options. People get tempted in a multitude of ways. Remember what the Lord told his apostles. You are those who are with me in my temptations. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, we know the Lord was not tempted. And everybody, let me put it this way. Everybody's not tempted in the same fashion. Because everybody don't have the same weaknesses and same desires. So to where one man could be tempted with yams, tempting this man over here with yams ain't going to mean nothing. Because that's not an issue for him. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand. Like, hey, man, everybody don't got the same problems. I think I told you this, that we was in there and I'm like, man, nigga, bro. I said, man, I ain't worried about no women that ain't got no money. Oh, this nigga lying. No, speak for yourself. You like that. Just because you like that don't mean I was like that. Bro, I'm not thinking about no woman, bro, and I ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what's going to happen if you chasing after women, bro, and you trying to be up under some women, you going to stay broke. You know why? Because the time you could have been putting in to get some money, you wasted it with her. Then guess what else you finna do? You finna try to climb on top of her, release your semen. Now you got a baby that you can't take care of. Now you're in a doubly worse position. You broke with a baby on the way. Then you got to deal with what type of woman you fooling with that will let you hit her raw and she know you broke. And not broke and you just, you know what I'm saying, junk just real right now. You ain't got nothing going on. And she was cool with that. Yeah, come over here and climb on top of me and hit me raw. I know you ain't got nothing going on. This the type of woman you want to have a baby with? No, man, I need me some money, man. Like this here, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's only she gonna make you feel good, but that's only for a minute. That don't last. You still broke when it's over. But you know why a lot of dudes do that when they broke? Because they feel like sexual gratification is gonna take their mind off them hard times. And guess what? After that pleasure gone, them hard times still there. See, one thing I knew, man, when I was young, man, a lot of dudes used to smoke weed or snort coke or get drunk to make their problems go away. I have never bought a bag of weed and thought when I rolled this blunt, this was going to make my problems go away. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. I knew whatever I was dealing with, it was going to be there. It's there before the weed. It's going to be there during the weed. It's going to be there after the weed. So I'm smoking weed strictly and purely for recreation because I enjoy it. Because the minute you start participating in activities for an escape, well, you ain't operating in your masculinity no more, boy. You teetering, tottering in the la-la land. You operating as a child. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear people say that all the time, I need an escape. What you need to escape from reality for? I ain't never had that thought process. I'm telling you this because I done heard these people say this by going to movies, going to wrestling shows, an opportunity to escape reality. I'm not trying to escape nothing. I came here to be entertained. But when you pause for a moment and you just be honest, you know how many people read certain type of novels because they literally trying to escape? People do genuinely go to see movies to escape from the reality of the world around them. People generally go to football games, basketball games, wrestling events, because for those 2 to 3 hours, whatever they got going on, they don't have to deal with it. And it is extremely a lot more common than you would believe. When I told you this before, when I sold crack, man, and I asked them people like, bro, what made you want to smoke dope? The overwhelming majority is because they were seeking to escape from reality. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to deal with whatever was going on in their life. And when you are seeking to escape from reality, you are not functioning in adulthood. Because now that means you want to be in a fantasy world. You know what I'm saying? And there should never be any time as a man that you are desirous to want to live in a false reality. Absolutely not. Shalom, Brother Ernest, man. I used to repress or try to do things to distract myself to escape reality. Back then, it would even be getting drunk. I didn't enjoy it. Now I don't have that option. Yeah, and that'd be the thing too. That escaping reality, because you said now you don't have an escape, you got to face it, is really a form of cowardice. Now we have to deal with cowardice for the strict definition of what it means. It is the avoidance of conflict. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with necessarily with the colloquial definition of what a coward is. You know, somebody you think just weak and soft, but it's more so you just don't want to deal with conflict. You know what I'm saying? But when you come and dealing with Yahuwah or anything, just dealing with your adulthood period, because I just don't want to limit this to manhood, but just adulthood period. You have to have the ability to face it. Because you know what happens when you face it, Civic? No, not only that, you can move past it now, whatever it is you're trying to escape from, whatever weight it had, whatever power it had, it no longer has it because you faced it. So therefore, the pull and the draw, and that pull and draw could be sadness, it could be anger, it could be resentment, it could be bitterness, it could be anxiety, it could be a multitude of things. If you faced it, it no longer has the power to rule over you to dictate how you behave and respond. But as long as you're trying to escape and run from it, then it will always have power over you. And you got to take your power back. They say it would eventually erupt to the surface. It always does because you ain't dealt with it. Nigga be broke, his car finna get repossessed, and what he say I'm finna to go do, go smoke some weed. You know what I'm saying?
Smoke the payment out, brother.
You know what I'm saying? They still coming to get that car. You finna go get drunk, they put an eviction notice on the door. They still gonna put you out if you don't pay them and respond to this civil suit. That's still gonna happen. Guess what? You running away from, you got to repent and put your sins away. It's not going to make the fact of the consequence where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched disappear. Whatever traumas, negative life experiences you had, they're not going to go away if you don't face them. And as he just stated, eventually it's just going to bubble up to the surface. That's all that's going to happen. Come on with it, blood. Where you at with it?
Let's go with Hebrews 13.
Read it, what verse you in again?
Verse 7.
Hebrews 13 and 7.
Say, remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Elohim, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yahusha HaMashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever.
Keep on going.
Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein.
Mm-hmm.
We have an altar whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. The bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burned without the camp. Wherefore Yahusha also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. Let us go forth therefore unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Elohim continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name.
Go ahead.
But to do good and to communicate, forget not. For with such sacrifices, Elohim is well pleased.
Well pleased.
Obey them that have the rule over you.
Obey them that have the what?
Rule over you.
Why?
Submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls.
They do what?
For they watch for your
Now,
souls.
you know, let's take you back to Ezekiel with the watchman. How many of y'all done heard Bruce be talking about, I'm a watchman? You ain't no watchman. Because you got to be hired to do that. You know what I'm saying? You just running up on people throwing verses at them don't make you a watchman, because this is where people get a watchman misconstrued. If you take it in antiquity, you had a watchtower. So that man in that watchtower was not responsible for everybody in the area. He was responsible for the people in that city. So when you're a watchman, you're responsible for a set group of people. Not everybody on your timeline, not anybody in your neighborhood, not everybody in your family. Simply the people who have been committed to your charge. You're responsible for them. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you can't warn other people or disseminate information to other people. But this, unfortunately, this is where it gets misconstrued. Like when you hear dudes say, I'm only going to protect those who I'm responsible for. And you'll see women on the internet get upset. So you list that there in the third. But that's how it's been throughout the entirety of human history. No one put their lives on the line necessarily intrinsically for people who were not under their charge. That doesn't mean that people would allow someone to just ravage somebody per se. But if you're not my responsibility, I very well may not risk my life for you, because you're someone else's responsibility. I'm responsible for these people, which is why it's difficult for people to understand the balance of Mashiach dying for Yasharal, yet dying for the sons of Adam at the same time. Because yes, all the sons of Adam are Elohim's responsibility, but Yasharal is his first responsibility, because I was in a covenant with them. which is why I say to the Yahudim first and then to the Greek, because I have a fidelity and a fiduciary covenantal relationship with them. So they're my priority. It doesn't dismiss you over here. They're just my priority. It's the same token if a man sees something happening to a woman like this here, but I have a wife and she's my priority. You know what I'm saying? So if I do X, Y, Z, and this take me from my wife, I've actually forsaken my fiduciary and covenantal responsibility for the one who is my priority, so that you can tell everybody how brave I am. But my wife and kids don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Because regardless of what you're saying, they know. Because again, you could go research this and look in human history. This thought process that men just dumped in danger for everybody that they seen is a historical fallacy. It's not reality. That's in the movies, man. Shalom, Sister Kevin. He said, I notice people who have a tendency to bite off more than they are able to chew at one time. That is true. Now, some people do overwhelm themselves by taking on too many tasks or too many responsibilities that they're not capable of handling. That's where you end up becoming overwhelmed. And then, people burn out and then start participating in negative activities or have negative health effects from the stress. And because that's an American thing that they see only in America is this we talked about this the other day, this perpetual state of you got to hustle 24/7 and you got to do this. That's never been anything anywhere in the world in human history except for here. You know what I'm saying? Where the barometer of your manhood is determined on how much you can work, how long you can work. But the reality of it, that type of teaching didn't come about from an entrepreneurial perspective. That came about doing that to benefit a capitalistic machine that is going to exploit you for their own benefit and then leave you left with crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really where that comes from. You have to remember the capitalistic approach is, for lack of a better term, is an exploitative approach. You know what I'm saying? At its essence, is it exploitative? Not necessarily. But when you start involving selfish human beings into to things that are for profit, you're going to get exploitative actions and manipulation in order for the purposes of increasing profits. I give you an example. The dude who owns the CEO of TKO was literally mocking Vince McMahon because he said Vince McMahon priced his tickets for families. And he's saying, and we're seeing that there's a lot of room for growth on the ticket angle because he was leaving money on the table. He was literally mocking Vince McMahon because for 30, 40 years, he made sure his tickets was affordable, that you could take your kids, you, your wife, and your 3-4 children, and it wouldn't break the bank for you to come see my show. See, TKO, Endeavor own UFC. So when Endeavor bought WWE, they took UFC, WWE, smashed them together, and then renamed it TKO. So UFC and WWE are under the umbrella of TKO Holdings. You know what I'm saying? And when you deal with big corporations, the only thing that big corporations are concerned with is profit. And big corporations don't care about people. They only care about profit. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about their employees. They don't care about their customers. They don't care about anything other than profit. And this is part of the reason why he said a bishop can't be greedy for filthy lucre or anything of that sort. It definitely was wisdom with Vince with brand building, because that was literally his brand. That's why people had a problem with the WWF, with his characters and his presentation and it being a PG product, because he literally built his company and made it for families. You know, Attitude Era was a little detour for a little while, but it was that's a family. He had a family-friendly product because he understood that if the kids are into it, the parents are going to take the children and buy the merchandise and things of this nature, and then you create a lifelong customer because now he's going to get his kids and they're going to do the same thing over. And I want to make it something, because that's where the money is at. It's in family entertainment. Like it's a couple YouTube content creators like Monty Kanigra, the Tiffany chick from Atlanta. They did regular content. And they actually, the other two I just mentioned, Tiffany and Monty, diverted off because Kanigra went back to Alabama and switched her channel to doing nothing but family-friendly content. You know what I'm saying? And she breaking in the big bucks. Because you know why? Because people prefer things that they can take their children to watch and view as a group. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with stuff that is raunchy and all this, that, then the third, you got to leave your kids home. You got to do this here. But if it's something I know I can bring my children to, yeah, that's where the money at. You see, that's the very definition of a gangster. Yeah, nothing more important than money. And unfortunately, the tenets of capitalism, that's what it's about, the money. But like I said, that hustle culture that they promote in America is not for you to become wealthy. It's for you to be a cog in their capitalistic machine. And they're hoping that you'll burn out and die, and then somebody will pop up and do the same thing. Go ahead. Where we at with it?
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Say, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
Notice he said their job is to watch for your souls, not to rule over you. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 5. Yes, how many have it?
Say, who then is Paul, who is Apollos, but ministers by whom you believed, even as the Lord gave to every man?
Mm-hmm.
I planted Apollos, watered, but Elohim gave the increase. So that neither is he that plant anything, neither he that water, but Elohim that give the increase.
Mm-hmm. So notice what he's saying. The preachers are nothing. It's God to give the increase. All he doing is planting the seed. Another person is tending to that seed so that word bring forth fruit. Continue.
Now he that plant and he that water are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with Elohim. You are Elohim's husbandry. You are Elohim's building. According to the grace of Elohim, which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another build thereon.
Mm-hmm.
But let every man take heed how he build thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahusha HaMashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Now if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest. The day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
So that furnace of affliction is going to determine when you say you build it upon that foundation. Going back to Isaiah 28, which is Yahusha, it's going to show what kind of behavior you got. But we talking about the workmanship, right? So now we want to go back to 1 Chronicles 28, 21. I just wanted to establish that point. To make this verse make more sense. That we're going to look at. Verse 21 of 1 Chronicles 28.
And behold, the courses of the priests and the Levites, even they shall be with you for all the service of the house of Elohim. They shall be with you for all manner of workmanship.
All manner of what?
Workmanship.
Every what?
Willing, skillful man.
For any what?
Manner of service.
Also the princes.
That all the people will be holy at your command.
Hey. Workmanship, by definition, please.
That's Melachah.
And again, that's business, work, labor, service, your occupation. Give them willingly skillful. Willingly skillful, man, could be the whole word by itself.
Willing is nadid, inclined, willing, noble, generous, incited.
Notice that I was talking to somebody earlier, right? Now they was asking the question in the form of offerings, and then you have a votive offering. You know what I'm saying? Or like I said, that they gave for the house. That's something that's done what? Willingly. One of the things that most people don't sit back and look at, and we've talked about this previously, like Yahuwah does not seek to compel anybody to do anything. Most of these things, it has to be done willingly. Now, there were some things that were required, you know what I'm talking about? But for the most part, it had to be done willingly. Notice that he said every willingly skillful man, because that means everybody would have not necessarily been willing to lend their labor and skill to the building of the house. See, I think there's a verse in 29 that speaks to that. We'll look at it in a second. Go ahead. Give him that definition for skillful man.
Man is Pokemon.
Wisdom. So this is
Skill in war.
So that's where your skillful man come in at. So every willingly wise man. You know what I'm saying? Now go to Exodus 31:1. Oh, here go the verse I wanted right here. Go before you go over there, man. Just start at 1 Chronicles 29:1. We can knock that out of the way because Exodus 30. We working our way to that, Quran.
And furthermore, David the Malik said unto all the congregation, Solomon, my son, whom Elohim alone have chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great. For the palace is not for man, but for Yahuwah Elohim.
He said the palace is not for who?
Not for man,
but for who?
Yahuwah Elohim.
Tell them what palace is right there. Now this is going to take us back to a conversation we had the other day. Remember, he said that this is the tabernacle that the Lord pitched and not man. We read last night how he said that destroy this temple and I'll raise it up in 3 days. Because the house that Yahusha was making was not for man, but for God. What does that take us back to? Because the house, i.e. us, that wasn't made for man. That was made for God. This is why he tell you that the body is not for fornication. Because every sin that a man commit is outside the body. But he that commit fornication sin against his own body. That's why he said the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord. Because man was not made for man, but for the Lord. This is what when you look at it from the testimony standpoint, which is very hard for a lot of people to digest, when the text tell you that man was not made for woman, but woman for the man. But we live in a society where the man is told that his whole job and duty is to serve this woman. He wasn't made for this woman. Now, when you look at it on the natural sense, you're going to run off tackle. But when you look at it from the essence of the testimony that you're supposed to understand, God didn't manifest himself for man. God made man for him. That's really what you're supposed to be understanding when you see that. But that's a whole nother conversation. Because we were having a conversation the other day, man, and my dog sat back and pretty much denied the Lord. Because the question was, he said, do you belong to Christ? And he was like, no. Because he thinking, no, because he going to give it back to the Father. We like, bro, you tripping. Because remember, Romans 8 says what? If you don't have the Ruach of Hamashiach, you are none of his. And as we having this conversation, somebody said, you his bride. It's about, I ain't his wife. You that super masculine, bro. You don't understand that you are his body, that the house of Yasharal is his wife. Of course, you yourself ain't his wife. Don't be an idiot. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people are fighting on the Father's behalf for a fight that he never asked them to fight. Because everybody think when you acknowledge Yahusha in certain fashions, you taking something away from the Father when it was the Father's will for his son to have it. And they can't even pick up what he putting down. Like that's his Father's will to desire to have that. He wants him. That man say he's committed all judgment into his. You got people arguing he ain't God, but yeah, he got the power to forgive sins and the power to judge and the power to condemn and the power to justify. Like, what's wrong with you, cuz? What's wrong with you? You think you taking something from the Father when it was the Father's intent for his son to have it because this is my only son. Now, maybe for some dudes, it don't rip into their brain, but if you only got one son, or you only got one child and it's a male and you a man, everything you got and everything you are, you want him to have it. Which is why most men do what? Name their firstborn son after them. And if you remember the parable of the prodigal son, he say, son, everything I got is yours. That's the part I be tripping on as a natural man. You not offended that you want your son to have everything you got. You ain't going to be offended if somebody say, well, you look just like your daddy. Well, you talk like your daddy. You walk like your daddy. That's not, as a man, that's not going, he taking something away from me. Because you knew everything that you would build until you build it to give it to who? To your son. You want him to have it. It's your desire for him to have it. Then we get in the word and you think your Father in heaven is different than you. I created all this specifically for my son. Matter of fact, I gave my son the pattern and the framework and told him what to do to make it. You know why I told him what to do to make it? Because one day I wanted him to rule over that till I'm ready to come through. Because, son, I created all this for you. I don't see how dudes don't understand that, and they have sons. Especially if they son named after them. Why would you name your... It's hard for dudes to understand that your father in heaven would name his son after him. You know what I'm saying? So when dudes be like, man, Yahusha can't be Yahuwah, why he couldn't be? Because you think that's taking something from him? You can't take nothing from the king. I'm the king. If I gave it to him, that means I could take it from him. So you can't take nothing from me if I gave you the power. You ain't taking nothing from me. That's why Paul let it be known. Don't think it any robbery that he made himself equal with Elohim. He ain't stealing nothing from his God because his God gave it to him. I wanted him to have it. If I was able to accrue $1 million tomorrow and created a trust and put my son's name on it, he can't take nothing from me. I set it up to give it to him. He can't take nothing from me. That's my son. That's why I didn't put no junior on there. Now ain't no junior. You're not less than. You the second. I'm not greater than you, and you're not lesser than me. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's why I did that. Straight up now. Because you know, it depending on who your daddy is, you'll feel like it's difficult to meet where he is. You think, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't want you to think like that, son. Your daddy is your daddy. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can have that, especially now. I ain't at that level yet. You know what I'm saying? But if your dad is considered to be like a really great man, like look at Michael Jordan's sons. That they're never gonna achieve that. Look at the hell LeBron's son gonna catch, because he carried that name. You know what I'm saying? He's never going to be able to meet that, and people gonna ridicule him because he's not his daddy. But he could go off and go do some great things in life that have nothing to do with basketball. But they're going to be like, he ain't no basketball player like his daddy. Well, damn, what you wanted him to be? I was just telling LeJohn the other day, right? I seen this post where dudes say, what's more difficult? Scoring 40,000 points or winning 10 scoring titles? I say they both difficult. Dude, like, nobody don't want to hear this longevity award. I say I had to look this up to see how many NBA players done played 20 years. You know how many NBA players done played 20 years? No, not that less, but it ain't that much more.
Maybe about 10.
He won off 11. You can't say that's a longevity award, and in an 80-year history or something, only 11 people have done it. And you know how many people done played 22 years? How many people you think done played 22 years? And you would be right. And do you know who them two people is? LeBron James and Vince Carter. Now, out of them 11 people who done played these 20 years, the overwhelming majority of them, all of them actually was in my lifetime. You know what I'm talking about? And most of them in y'all era are players that you watch. He ain't even played 20 years. He was like 18, 19. I can tell you. Now, y'all don't know who Kevin Willis is, but he's known for playing with the Hawks, and he played with the Spurs down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? Before he retired. He played 20 years. You might know about the Chief. You know about the Chief? Robert Parrish played with Larry Bird. He played 21 years. You know Kareem. He played 20. We just mentioned Vince Carter and LeBron. Then you got Dirk and Kobe. And I can't remember the rest. But it ain't that many. You know what I'm saying? The record was 16 till Kareem played for 20. LeBron going to break Vince Carter's record now at playing 23. Now, Vince Carter played 22 years. He ain't scored 40,000. Kobe played 20 years. He ain't scored 40,000. Dirk played 20. Oh, yeah, Udonis Haslem. He on there.
He played 20 rounds.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm mentioning that because 20 years is a long time to do anything. But to do something for 20 years consistently at a very high level, that's difficult. And I'm only saying this ain't about the player. It's how people will be quick to diminish somebody who done something and make it seem like everybody can do it. But in reality, everybody hasn't done that. You're talking about a league that's been around for 80 years almost. And only 11 people have done that for 2 decades. 11. That's definitely less than 1%. Now, remember, a lot of people feel like, oh, anybody can preach the word. No, anybody can. A lot of people do. There's a lot of people who play basketball. A lot of them ain't going to play 10 years, much less 20. You know what I'm saying? Most of them ain't going to get past 5.
Most of them ain't gonna make it to the NBA.
That too. Because it's very difficult. You're talking about 30 teams, 15 spots per team. That's 450 people. You're talking about at least well over, 100, 200, 300 Division I basketball schools before you start talking about lesser division of schools. But you're not going to make it. Yeah, you're not going to make it. Then you're not even dealing with the politics of getting there. That's the other part. Because you might have to, puff a Peter. You know what I'm talking about? You might have to go in the back room.
Draft is only 60 people.
Draft only 60 people. And I come from a time when the draft used to be 10 rounds. You know what I'm saying? 10-round draft. You're not going to make it. That's why I don't understand. You shouldn't even push your children to that. Especially when you know he's going to have to puff a Peter. Like straight up. To send your child to something where you know that sexual degenerate conduct is a part of elevation to high levels in that particular industry and push your child to it is borderline child abuse, in my opinion. It's downright criminal.
You think they got a computer to play? What if the guys that's good?
Yeah, you can be good, but there's only a certain level they're going to let you get. As good as you are, you can be a very great player, but you not going, once the people start doling out 50, 60, $70 million a season contracts, and you're talking about, oh yeah, come on in, we want to do a shoe deal with you, you're going to have to puff a Peter. Yeah, you're going to have to puff a Peter.
You're going to have to trade your integrity for something.
You're going to have to, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to control you. You know what I'm saying? You can't give some people $70, $80 million with no restraint.
Yeah.
Come in, Maury.
You know what? If I got, let's just say I'm a freedom fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like how Killer Mike put it. He say, are you a freedom fighter or a stool pigeon? Are you down for your people in the big mission? Now, what if you that type of nigga, but you could play ball though? And now these people done dropped a $70 million contract in your lap. And you got a profile, which means you got people ears, which means possibly you could have their hearts. I can't let you have that type of bread and I ain't got nothing over you to restrain. Because you might turn around with that same bread and go amongst the same people and give them information or the wherewithal and resources and ability to turn on you. And I can't let you do that. This is why they had these people engaged in these behaviors, because it's a control mechanism. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And I don't care who it is. You can like Jeezy all you want to. They probably came in there, but you're going to have to puff a pee. You have to do something. If you ain't going to let us hit you, you're going to hit me.
Yeah, walk away.
You see he ain't walked away.
Still here.
He's supposed to walk away.
New album coming out, still snowing.
Come on, man. See, that's why they have a problem with Sanders' contract. Telling you, bro, that's just that business, bro. You hear too many people talk about it in that business where you see people who you feel are great performers or athletes and their career just stop.
See Ron Isley still performing.
Still. This man been in the music business since the 50s. This man, about the money game and not integrity. So you already know he puffed the Peter.
He don't have the word in his balls no more. He gave up the word.
A lot of people will, man. To be 100% honest with you, bro, when you go to talking about a certain amount of money, more money than you ever seen, Not even more money you ever seen. More money that you could fathom, that you could have, and the opportunity to have a level of status and fame that you couldn't even imagine. Man, let me be honest with you, man. I would say that 97 to 98% of people on this earth don't have no integrity.
When it comes down to what they want.
Yeah, when it comes down to their lust. And that's what goes back to the original point that I made a few moments ago, that Satan come at you to deceive you with your own desires. And most people will compromise their integrity for their desires, whatever those desires may be. You know what I'm saying? Your desire don't necessarily have to be money. It could be fame. It don't got to be yams. It could be validation. You know what I mean? It could be whatever. And that's what he gonna come with. Because some boys walk away and just say, hey, man, my career just gonna stay right here. Some dudes, they want to be on that top floor. And if you want that top floor, somebody wants some top.
That's fine. For that top spot.
For that top spot, that boy say, I need that top sauce today. That's just how it goes. Like if you were gonna push your child in that direction, you would have to have a real conversation, son. It's a high possibility a man gonna walk in a room and pull his penis out. What you gonna do?
There's also the people that are degenerates that control that.
Absolutely.
That's what type of time they.
You didn't remember Fat Joe say, I don't know if it's a gay mafia. Man, these dudes be trying to tell you what's going on. Because that means they trying to tell you, man, nigga side me from my butt, man. I had to walk away. Because what he gonna do? Beat him up? Shoot him? Look here, Fat Joe, gangsters all outdoors. He wasn't gangster with them sissies, though. Walked away from them sissies.
But if you're not mentally prepared for that, and that's what you walk into,
nah, you know why he walked away from them sissies? Because he didn't want them problems. You can't go to war with them punks, because them punks ain't finna go to war with you like you finna go to war with that nigga in the street. They know them people. Them people coming to your door. And they gonna pop up at your cell though. Hey, you got the right one today, buddy. Ruin your whole life. Because he had freaky parties with attorney generals and district attorneys and judges and whatnot. You seen Eyes Shut, whatever that Stanley Kubrick film. You know what I'm saying? But something ain't shut. Boy around here looking like a busted balloon.
If you pay attention to that, that's what they coming out. Apollo producers, we did it with FB.
Hey man, coming out is wild. But that's what they were doing. Not wild like that, but wild like Diana Ross coming out. She says, I want the world to know. You know what I'm saying?
And who they rise up the gatekeep.
Telling you, man.
Put them people in position.
Put them people in position, man. You don't want to push your child in that direction, man. And if you is, you better tell him what it is. You want to act like this here. That boy gonna eventually run up on somebody who on some different type of time. And you didn't prepare. Now come on now. We know what happened to your mans. You see what he did? That boy went back to the call center, didn't he? That nigga don't even like to talk about it. I don't want to put his name out there. That man don't want a business out there like that. You know what I'm talking about. Your mans. Central Florida.
No,
Your man's. Was that his wedding?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see, bro, he don't even like to talk about it, do it. That means somebody said or tried him with something. Well, when you got a grown man who you been down with, like for real, and you be like, bro, what happened? He like, I don't want to talk about it. Well, that was distressing.
He wasn't prepared for that.
He wasn't prepared for that. And he saw something that, and I ain't trying to be funny, that means he saw something that genuinely disturbed his soul to the point, boy, I'm going back to the call center, boy. And don't ask me about that. I don't want to talk about it. And I'm talking about, and when he say he don't want to talk about it, he firm with that, like, hey, bro, I don't want to talk. Like, they didn't even know, hey, bro, I don't want to talk about that. Don't ask me about that. That means he seen something that was extremely disturbing, bro. You know what I'm saying? That probably made him rethink his whole life. Like, I put in all this work to get to this point to experience this.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I've been in that room.
I can agree with that. You do get that point, like, well, I done wasted my.
That's how you feel. Number one, my manhood been disrespected, whatever that disrespect may have been. Number two, your dreams just got shattered because this is what you desire to do from whatever age, and you've been putting in all this time, this effort, the sacrifices, the money to get to this point where this man done got butt naked in front of you and say, "Puff this Peter." Bend over and spread it. I need you to hit him.
Mind if I?
Like you said, that one dude that walked up to Ted Cruz.
Yeah, man. Man, you remember when Delta was, y'all wasn't around. Man, when Delta was around, I wasn't being funny. I say, man, I told him, I said, man, I see them videos. They claiming that they make football players, they got to enter into a contract with the devil and worship the devil. That's real, my nigga. His whole demeanor changed. He was like, bro, I don't want to talk about that. And I left him alone because I seen like how his demeanor, like, you know how some people like, man, go ahead on, man, on, but they trying to brush it off. His demeanor changed, like, bro, I don't want to talk about that. I say less, my nigga. I ain't gonna press you about it. But that let me know there had to be some level of credence to it because of how his demeanor changed. Like we was cool, kicking it, and he got extremely serious. And this man played in the NFL for about 10 years. And he said, bro, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And I just left that alone. You know what I'm saying? So there's something going on. What it is, we could only speculate. But yeah, you can't push your kids to that, man. See, and as a watchman, that's what watchmen do. What do watchmen do? They warn. You equip the individual with the warning so that they can have the ability to navigate danger. If you don't equip them with the information to navigate danger, that's how you end up on Epstein Island with a blue dress on, puffing Peters. That's how it happens. You know what I'm saying? You want to know why this person fall into that sin or fall into that sin? Because nobody warned them. But once you've been, that's why he said, if you warn them with the sword, come, just get it for him, man. Ezekiel 33. Just let the book tell him. You all right, boy? Sit on up straight, man. Get your back straight. You slouching. Yeah, because of how you sitting. That's what I'm telling you. No, when you sit slouch like that, man, to put your neck in a bad position, your neck get tight, you get a headache. Yeah, I'm trying to help you out. You already got a large skull, you can.
See a lot of screaming.
You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of cranium going on there, boy. I know your neck hurt. You had a big head your whole life. You looking crazy. Ask your mom about it. She can tell you. Come on. Shalom, brother Carmen, man. Ezekiel 33:1.
Again, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying,
What it say?
Son of man, speak to the children of your people, saying to them, when I bring the sword upon a land, that the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchmen. If when he see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people.
Remember when we talked about the trumpet last night, right? What that trumpet for? An alarm. So when he blew that alarm, that's why that verse mentions that about lift up your voice like a trumpet. So that you're sounding the alarm. So if you're a bishop in the congregation, if you're a minister in the congregation, your job is to blow the alarm because you are responsible for these people. Go ahead.
Says, and whosoever hear the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, the sword come and take him away. His blood shall be upon his own.
So if you don't warn these people, you going to hell. That don't mean they're not going to hell, but you going.
That he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him.
For sure, my G.
But he that take warning shall deliver his soul.
See, now they see that go in the sentence, say a wise man or a prudent man hides himself. And you hide yourself in Yahusha HaMashiach, because you know he hasn't appointed us unto wrath, but unto life. That's what the epistle tells you. You know what I'm talking about? See, if you don't go and dwell in the Son and the Son dwell in you, that's why I say the wrath of God on your head. Because that sword gonna come take you away. Because in this instance, the sword is representative of the Lord. Because you know he coming back with what? Fire and a sword to do what? Plead with all flesh. And the slain of Yahuwah gonna be many, and it's gonna be dead bodies from one end of the earth to the other, and he gonna leave them as dung upon the ground because niggas thought he was playing. How many of y'all done caught that belt upside your head because you thought your daddy or your mama was playing? They told you what to do. They told you how to do it, and when they wanted it done. And they very well may have called the house to give you a warning to let you know you better have done what I told you to do, but you thought they were playing. And when they came to the house, the wrath was rendered upon your buttocks. And now you in here screaming and hollering because they beating the brakes off your behind because you thought it was a game. Like Joanne think everything a game. Ain't nobody playing with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you have to come through and let them know, I'm not playing with you. Before you get to the point where I'm finna beat the brakes off of you, they would need to understand that, boy, I'm not playing with you. Now I'm showing you compassion by extending you an opportunity to amend your behavior. I'm showing you loving kindness by not knocking your head off your shoulders, but I'm going to have to part your scalp because you think I'm somebody to be played with. And that's very hard for people to understand. You know, the epistle in Romans 11 talk about that, the goodness and the severity. People don't want to deal with the severity. You only want to talk about the goodness, but you don't exhibit the behavior of where he can bestow the goodness upon you. You can't be a wicked, dirty-faced bastard and expect goodness. That's crazy. Where we at, blood?
33, verse 6.
Come on.
So, but if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
No, look at what he said, right? That person going to get taken away in their consequence. But I'm going to require, remember, and that goes back to what we read in Hebrews 13, obey them that have rule over you because they watch for your souls because they have to give account. See, everybody want to be ruling over people, but you don't want to give an account that you're responsible for these people. And if you're responsible for them people, then you have to serve and have the oversight and the care of them properly and efficiently. This is the thing, right? You warn somebody. After I warn you, that's on you. Because this something y'all already know this here. I'm not finna tell nobody nothing over 3 times. Once I told you 3 times, I'm not talking no more. Because I done told you, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your choices. You remember years ago, niggas used to get mad. He said he going to let you crash out. I sure am. Because before you crash out, I would have been and told you might want to slow down. You might want to hit your blinker. You might want to hit the brakes. Oh, you said you're going to speed up. You got to crash then. You're going to have to learn the hard way. See, people think you're just supposed to be chasing behind people. And I'm not chasing behind no grown man to do nothing. This book tell you first admonition, second admonition, third admonition, reject. After that, I'm done talking. I'm not finna keep telling you to not do something that you clearly are determined to do. Absolutely not. That's why I don't get in debates with people. I ain't got to keep the law. They don't keep it then, nigga. You think I'm finna argue with you about that? I'm finna smoke crack. Well, smoke it then. What that man told you, smoke crack, don't you? Well, jump then. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, nigga, go send it up. You know why? Because he that be filthy, Johnny, let him be what? He that's unjust, let him be what? He that be unjust, let him be what? Stay like that then. You know what I'm talking about?
I got a question though.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, so like physical things, you can kind of measure your effort and your output, like money or whatever like that, like how effective you are.
Right.
It's intangible things that we seek out. How do you like measure your?
I'm glad that you asked. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. How do you measure the intangible spiritual things that you're seeking to acquire? Before you do that, give me Psalms 4 and 1. So we didn't talk about this before. You got to examine yourself. So now let's look at how you examine yourself.
Say, hear me when I call, O Elohim of my righteousness. You have enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer. O you sons of men, how long will you turn my esteem into shame? How long will you love vanity and seek after leasing?
Tell them what leasing is. This ain't leasing a car, is it?
That's kazab, a lie, untruth, falsehood, a deceptive thing.
How long will you seek after deceit? Now, there's 2 things that deceit that you're going to be looking after. You're going to be looking after deceit as forth as lies that are verbally told, but most people are looking at the deceit of their flesh. If we just talk about it, say your flesh will lie to you. Your flesh will tell you good is evil and evil is good and right is wrong and wrong is right because it make you feel good. Now, I'm not saying this to be vulgar. Punks think anuses feel good. That don't make it right, though. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot of things feel good. A junkie feel like his drugs make him feel good. But you're going to go to hell. I hope it felt good enough to burn. Go ahead, man.
Say, but know that Yahuwah have set apart him that is godly for himself. Yahuwah will hear when I call unto him.
Tell him what godly mean, man.
I said, faithful, kind, godly, Kadash on a saint.
That's a saint. So he set apart the saints for itself, or God. I just want to, because we already knew this here. I wanted you to hear that. That's kased. See, the other word for saint is kadeshim. That's the word that most people are familiar with. But you know, I always reference the word kased because it means that you're faithful. You know what I'm talking about? Now, you around here talking about you faithful, that means you hold fast to the charge of he who has authority over you, and you never bend, fold, or compromise what he has charged you to do. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't raised that way. I don't believe in compromising nothing, ever, for anyone, under any circumstance. I don't believe in it. I just wasn't given that mind. My people didn't teach me that. I wasn't bred. I'm not compromising nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if this is what you own, well, you got to be real resolute on that. That's the part of the faithfulness. If I got to die, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about anything that you say that you own. I told you when we was in the street, man, we not ratting, bro. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We got to be faithful to what it is that we signed up for. If I voluntarily participated in that criminal act, I know what come along with that. The minute I compromise the ideal that I say I stand for, I'm no longer the man that I claim to be. If I'm willing to do something and there's a consequence that's attached to it, I got to be man enough to suffer that consequence that come along with that. If I didn't want to suffer that consequence, you know what I could have did? Let me out, though. Let me out. You know what I'm saying? So when you turn around and you say, boy, you coming in and entering in that covenant with Yahuwah, that's why he said you better sit down and count the cost, whether you got enough to pay, or you better make sure you got the heart and the nuts that this is what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about just running your mouth about no word. I'm talking about this is what you want to do. You're going to live by this, whether we gather, whether somebody looking, whether you in a crowd, that this is what you own 24/7, 360. And if you know that this ain't what you want to do, man, go eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. Don't play around with it. You ain't going to get no halfway reward. You know what Prodigy told you, didn't it? Ain't no such thing as no halfway crook. And you know what the Lord told you? I'd rather you be hot or cold, but you lukewarm. So I'm going to spit you out my mouth. You ain't all the way in. Strengthen those things that remain, which are ready to die. Tighten up on your backstroke and handle your business. Come on with it, bud.
You say stand in awe and sin not.
Stand in awe and do what?
Sin not.
And what else?
Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still.
Commune with your what?
Own heart upon your bed.
Tell them what commune mean, man. But see, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, I was raised by different type of people, man. So, you know, they let it be known, man, be responsible for your choices and your actions. Accept the consequences and take responsibility for your choices and your actions. You know what I'm saying? Be man. If you man enough to do something, be man enough to take what come along with that. If you can't take what come along with that, don't be involved with it. If you know that salvation is what you say you want to be a part of, then be man and woman enough to do what is necessary in order to achieve that. Don't ride all the time. Just don't ride when it's convenient. Ride all the time. People want to do stuff when it's convenient for them. You know,
Amar, to say, to speak, to utter, to answer, to say in one's heart, to think, to command, to promise.
So this is the speaking in your own heart. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go to 2 Corinthians 13. See, things like this here, people don't want to talk about because people rather sit around and argue with Christians and argue doctrine. I don't care about none of that. See, I've had conversations with dudes, and once it descended into y'all want to fight, I bow out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not finna do this with you. Because the real stuff that you want to talk about, guess what, Lil Johnny? They don't want to talk. When you talk about the affairs of the heart, purging the heart, perfecting the heart, people don't want to talk. You know why? Because then they're going to have to commune with their own heart. And that's what people don't want to do. Don't nobody want to have that, man, one of the worst things in life that a lot of people don't want to do, which is necessary to do, is when you hit a certain period in your life and you got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I don't like what's looking back. Now, what are the things that I need to do and to be able to where I can like what I see when I look in the mirror? And a lot of people don't want to do that. That's why they don't want the mirror held up. That's why James say a man who done went straight way and forgot what manner of man he was. He looked himself in the glass and forgot who he was. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's different for me personally, because I wasn't raised in no words, so I didn't have this thought process that there was an image that had to be maintained. You know what I'm saying? That I had to look like this and look like that. That's why I dress the way I dress now, because I am who I am, but I ain't living foul though. Because I don't care what you think about me, because I don't believe in no church and I don't come from that. Just y'all have mercy on this soul, man. Like Crunch said, man, we real niggas. Straight from the collard green patch. So what you see, that's who I am. You know what I'm talking about? Not no more to the left, no more to the right. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to pretend to be nothing because I don't care. I don't care enough to put on no image, man. I'm not in the entertainment business. I'm not a marketer. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was a marketer, then I'd have to put a particular image on, because we would be marketing the congregation to make it palatable and amenable for individuals to want to come around. You know what I'm saying? If I was a marketer, this here nigga, like, I don't want to go around there. I don't like how he talk. I don't care. You remember when what's the name wife was like, he don't dress like a preacher. How a preacher supposed to dress? Oh, your man, you know.
Suit and tie.
Suit and tie. Oh, you know they.
Standing on this.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't stay around long.
Briefcase.
Go to the basketball game, bro.
Nah, his wife literally said that though. She was like, he doesn't dress like a preacher. I was like, how is a preacher supposed to dress? What you want me to wear? A Hebrew garment? That make it better for you? Huh? I told you what they told Lil Trad them, man. They told Lil Trad they was hip hop brews. That's what they told them boys some years back. They said they hip hop brews. What does that even mean? The boy from Detroit. How you expect them to dress? They from Detroit. You think they gonna stop being from Detroit because they got in the word? So the buff's gonna go away now because we in the word. I can't wear the buffs on. You know what I'm saying? Because for real, because all of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, but them boys got buffs on. Why? Because they from Detroit. They gonna dress like somebody from Detroit dress. You know what I'm saying? They gonna like, what up though? And that's what them boys on. And guess what? I ain't never looked at no dude and like he can't be godly. Look at how he dressed. Why he wear his hat? A dude literally said that about me. Why he wear his hat that way? No, what it is this just me from the outside looking in. Those of y'all who've been in churches or part of stuff, you probably understand. They have a thought process and an image of how this position is supposed to look. So when you don't look like that, they throw by that. You know what I'm saying? So you take that individual, right? He started in the church. He has an image that he want all them to and push for all them to wear. And then here comes somebody who's opposite of that. But he got the same thing that I got. I'm really trying to say something to get him to conform to the image that I feel like he should be. That's why he's making that comment. Because I think you should look like this. So instead of coming to somebody and saying, hey, I see this, that, there, and the third, and just expressing their point of view, they try to do it in a malicious or passive-aggressive way to manipulate you to conform to the way that they feel like you should behave. Instead of just saying, hey, man, this is just my opinion. I believe if you in this position, you should dress like this. And this is why I feel that way. That's the adult way to handle that. You know what I'm saying? But most people who in the church do not have that adult way of coming to another man and expressing that. So they try to be passive aggressive with it. And they feel like the guilt trip that your mama would do or your grandma would do is going to get you to change your behavior, which is feminine, as you said. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But me not coming from that and me reading the word, Them boys, ain't nobody cared what them boys had. Who cared? I wouldn't. You having a 3-piece suit does not convey that I should trust you more. You having a Hebrew garment on is not going to convey to me that you got to be so godly. That don't mean nothing to me. Especially when the Lord said they enlarged their borders and made broad their faculties and the whole time they wicked as hell. So then that don't mean nothing. And then of course what you know, that man say, man look on the outward appearance, Yahuwah look on the heart. So I don't really care about your attire. That don't mean nothing to me, but I don't come from that environment. So therefore that's why that's not coming across my mind. Somebody who's been in that environment, they're gonna make the statement that his wife made. Because you have a thought process of what somebody should look like in this position. The same way somebody say if you were CEO, they expected to have a clean cut haircut, no beard, suit on. Because this is what they equate with that position. And that's only because of the corporatization of the church, of the assembly. You know what I'm saying? These men didn't have no attire because they weren't Levite priests, so they didn't have a garment to put on. And even with the Levites, they had their own clothes. It's not like they walked around with them garments on. They could only wear them garments when they were in the sanctum, and they had to take them off and put their clothes back on and then go home. But then for some people, they feel like you'll be respected more if you dress a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And all of it really boils down to that they're not there for the word. The word is not of the utmost importance. Not to say this to be wild. If you care about the word, you wouldn't care if he was naked, tattered, dressed to the nines, casual, because the word is what you after. Not his attire. You don't care. But that comes down to image. You're trying to project that you're this. You know what I'm saying? Like, see somebody on the other side of this camera, on the other side of this phone, they might think like, he probably only act like this here when the camera on. No. I'm the same nigga every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no, let me put on my the preacher character. No, nigga. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, you seen that nigga who? These nuts, so lives. You know what I'm saying? Am I lying though? You know what I'm saying? And the same conversation I'm having right now, we can have them if the camera wasn't on. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you say, I told you the nigga left a comment on there saying you trying to hide behind the jersey. I said, how you hide behind the jersey? How you hide behind that? It's a piece of clothing. Like you hide behind money to cover up who you are. Nigga, I am who I am.
He really wants you to take it off.
Whoa. That's what the nigga said in the comment.
That's really what he's saying.
Come on, that type of nigga, bro. I'm just trying to understand what you getting at. What you hiding?
Take it off.
And you know why I wear them? Because I've been wearing them my entire life. Then on top of that, I work outside in hot houses. I want to be comfortable as possible. Some of y'all done been with me in them hot behind houses, man. Man, I just was cleaning a self-storage facility that's so doggone hot. Man, the people were mad. He was like, man, you can't be in here with shorts and slides on. I said, man, my pants and shoes in the car. Because y'all know I don't even wear shoes. I don't even wear my wallets no more. Not because I don't want to wear them, because my feet hurt. I got slides on my feet, don't never hurt. I can walk for miles. I can do all type of work in slides. My feet never hurt. Put on a pair of shoes and they scream. Straight up. You know what I'm saying?
1,000 miles.
For real. He can tell you. I can do more work with slides on than a nigga with steel-toed boots on. Well, if I put shoes on, I got to stop. Because it's like they just squeezing my toes. That junk be hurting. You know what I'm saying? I'm already flat-footed. That junk is painful. Slides don't have that problem. You know what I'm saying? Don't have that problem. But man, it was hot in there, man. He talking about you can't be in there without, you got to at least have on sleeves. I say, I got you with the pants and the shoes. I ain't putting on no sleeves, cuz this jersey is what it is. Ain't no AC in here. It's 140,000 square feet of concrete. Can't do it. I got high blood pressure, man. I can't be in the hot and sweaty like that. Now my feet, the shoes still fit the same. It just hurt. It just hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I can run with slides on. Hell, y'all was in there. I played ball with them slides on, no problem. He was a Levi.
But like his dress.
Oh, he wore an outfit of campus hair. Out there in the wilderness, eating wild honey and locusts. Say, rough garment. That says like that's what Elijah had on. No, it's always got to be about the word, man. Not the outside point. Now, to get back to what Johnny asked, because that was a good question that he asked. How do you measure these intangibles that you're looking for? And those intangibles are actually measured up when you do what he about to read, examining yourself to look at your behavior and conduct. And do you exhibit the gentleness, the goodness, the meekness, the faith, the love, the joy, the peace? Are you showing, when there was a situation for compassion, did you show it? When there was a situation for love and kindness, did you extend it? When there was a time to show mercy, were you merciful? You know what I'm saying? When you got angry, were you wrathful, or were you angry and you sinned not? So it's just looking at yourself, doing self-assessments, and you know what I'm saying? As we seen commune, speaking upon in your own inward man, examining your own behavior the same way you would do with actual work. Same way you would walk by and look at it. No, we're going to do a month review of your cleaning. You know, you could be better on the gutters. You know, your vacuuming left a lot to be desired. You know, you just look at certain situations you were in and look how you responded and say, did it call for that response? Did it line up with what 1 Corinthians 13 said love is? You know, stuff like that, man. Because at the end of the day, everybody human, you moving to be perfect and the best version of yourself and to be a better husband, a better father, you know what I'm saying, a better brother, you know what I'm saying? That don't necessarily mean in every situation you're going to knock it out the park. Some of them you can sit back and say, you know what? I could have did that better. But you have to be honest with yourself.